hope that doesn't overwrite. But basically, everyone's behavior is based upon how lovable they feel about themselves. This is why, yeah, this is why we have compassion for everyone, even those who do bad things, because those that do bad things do not love themselves. They do not feel lovable. They do not feel worthy of love. And what I said love was, which I'm hoping I did not fucking overwrite, is that love is the love is the recognition of the connection and the unity of everything in the universe. That is what love is. Love is not an emotion. Love is experienced, can be experienced through emotion, but it's not an emotion. Love is just unity and the recognition of that unity and the recognition of that connection. So when people don't feel lovable, they don't feel whole. They don't feel connected. They don't feel unified within themselves or with the world. And so this is where you have people like sociopaths, narcissists, psychopaths, which are who feel totally on an emotional level, because humans are emotional beings. They feel emotionally disconnected from the world, and so they don't feel like they have the ability to engage in a loving manner, meaning recognizing the inherent unity and connection, and they don't feel like they can receive that energy either. So they do the total opposite of it. They don't feel lovable, so they do something to prove to themselves, to prove to their subconscious mind, to prove to their inner self that they are not lovable. And it's funny because we have an energy center in our chest. They call it the heart chakra. In Sanskrit, it's called Anahata. And Anahata means in Sanskrit unstruck. Unstruck. So unstruck means that it does not, it has not been hit. It has not been penetrated. And if you think about the entire, at least the entire phenomenal universe, meaning that which we can sense as vibration, which it is physically, everything in the universe that we can sense. I'm just going to speak on what we can sense is vibration. So when you think about anahata, which means unstruck, that means it's not, whatever's here does not vibrate, meaning it cannot be affected by other energies, because the heart, at our core, we are unified and we do not vibrate. We do not vibrate. We don't vibrate. There's no frequency in the core of who you are. It's unstruck. It is untouched by the phenomenal universe. So that means there's a you that is eternal and beyond this temporal, sequence of events that we call life. So when someone tries to prove to themselves that they're unlovable through evil or bad acts, it will never touch the true nature of the heart. It never touches the true nature of the heart. The only thing you can do to the heart is deny it. The only thing you can do with the heart is close it off. You can only close the door to the heart. And what happens when we close the door to the heart? We have heart problems. People who have heart attacks, people who have high blood pressure, people who have all kinds of diseases in that framework, within that realm. So people who do evil acts, whether they think that they're doing it for a good reason or whether because they feel totally disconnected from the world, they don't feel lovable. So people who are mean, and we could even tone it down. We could tone down to the degree of evil acts, meaning like evil is just ignorance. That's all it is. Ignorance to the idea or to the fact that you are eternal consciousness that is one with everything. There's no need for suffering. Suffering only comes from buying into the illusion that you are not one with everything, that you think that you are a separate being, and not just thinking with the human mind, with the human intellect, really believing it on a deep, deep, deep subconscious level. So this is what lovability is about. So that's why lovability is so crucial in today's world. You see what people acting a damn fool, about, you see all these debates going on and all this hatred, whether it's fake hate labeled by the media or whether it's real hate by those that are pointing the finger saying that you're hateful, you're hateful. It's 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 a way. What you're seeing is a dynamic of what plays out when people believe they are separate from each other. On a fundamental level, on the level of consciousness, we are not separate at all. And I'm talking this shit, but I'm still learning as well. I'm still learning as well. Like, I'm not a master at this. I still struggle with feeling separate. You know, I've been different my whole life. I felt separate most of my life. My family, they're fucking narcs, bro. I can't fuck with them. Like, and I think about it, it's like, even though it's been years since I've talked to them, I'm making it a personal fucking thing. That's usually when a whole bunch of people come in. Ooh, what's the personal shit? But it still hurts to this day, man. Like, I think about it and I'm like, man, I can't. I think about what I love about my family, the good things about my family, because there were good things, and I can't. I can only remember it as a memory. I can't engage them and call them. At least I don't feel comfortable doing that. So there's a lot of, for me, my personal wound is feeling separated because of the crap that I went through with my family, and I'm sure a lot of you can, relate to that. But I still strive to love myself, and every day, and no matter what, no matter if someone pulls my pants down and the whole world sees my dick, and I'm like, oh my god, the world saw my dick. It's like, I'm still lovable. If what I'm saying, if someone, humiliates you or tries to shame you or whatever, it's the only reason why I came up with that example is I tried to come up with the most embarrassing example, that most people would feel ashamed by. And it's like, no matter how ashamed you feel, you're still lovable. No matter how dark your thoughts are, you're still lovable. No matter how, you're right, Candace, we are all lovable, absolutely. No matter how angry you get, no matter how many drugs you've done, no matter if you have PTSD or you have autism, or you, like, no matter what form that you take, you are lovable. Because what is love? Again, love is the recognition of and the reality of the unity that everything is in the universe. That's all love is. Love is the recognition of that unity. Now, that recognition can take many forms, but it is not intrinsically emotional. Emotions are a way to experience the unity, are a way to experience the connection, but they are not the primary way. That's a big problem that we have here on this planet, is by mistaking the emotion for the fundament of what we call love. Fundament meaning consciousness. Fundament meaning the source, the roots. It's only an indicator that you feel connection. That's all it is. Gotta run. I love this, but we'll catch up. No doubt, Chris. See ya. Appreciate it. Much love. So that's what love is. So that's why the Anahata chakra is unstruck, because you are always one with everything, no matter how much you want to act like you're not one with everything. That's what being lovable is. Lovable means you are already one with everything. Now, the problem is that most of us on this planet have not been taught how to freely acknowledge or recognize that reality of unity, meaning we don't show love to one another. I'm using technical language to kind of unify everything, because a lot of people use emotional language to describe love, and since we've been bullshitted into thinking that we're a logical species, and we're not fucking logical at all. We don't listen to logic at all. We're all emotional, who happen to appreciate logic. So we use logical terminology to to create another dimension of understanding when it comes to spiritual principles, because a lot of spiritual principles are thrown out of the window by most people. They're thrown out of the window by most people because people think it's woo woo, And it's only woo woo because you've been told that this is reality. You've been told that this is your world. And spirituality can't be described in an informative and an intelligent way if this is the only reality you see. Spiritual reality is really this, but you're in here trying to describe this. It's like a fucking 5 year old trying to describe what doing taxes is like. Trying to describe what a 25-year-old life is like. Like they can't describe the kind of urges that a 25-year-old has. They can't describe the kind of hardship that a 25-year-old goes through. The only hardship that a 5-year-old really knows is that's mine. Why the fuck they can't describe that. So tunnel vision versus bigger picture, absolutely. So that's what we're coming into as a species now. That's why all this stuff is coming up now. Everybody's saying the world's getting worse, but it's not. It's like the disease is just making itself known. That's it. There's now we have the technology. Meaning, what I mean by that is that there's a certain cosmic shift that's happening on this planet, where the bullshit is just plain as day. It's plain as day to see. The bullshit is plain as day to see. It's like, are you operating out of love or out of fear? Not because somebody told you that it was love, but that you've been working on yourself and developing your own intuition, meaning here and here, to be able to discern what love is. To discern it is blatant facts. But I still say many of us need to continue to develop this, because this needs to be the servant of this. See, the heart is like the heart is the king. The heart is the king. But the king needs advisors, needs extremely intelligent advisors, because the heart is infinite intelligence. It's infinite intelligence. It's already like everything is already one. We're already connected. The brain is like, how can I honor that? What kinds of neural nets can I create to honor that unity? How can I use logic, intellect, intelligence to create systems to honor that unity? So that's why we need logic. It's like we've had people. There's a group of people in the world right now, or at least the mainstream media wants us to believe this, is that there's a group of people who are only about emotion, and there's a big mistake with that. And then you have the smartasses who are only about logic, but they're just as much about emotion. But they're the logical side and the practical side, and they don't acknowledge the emotional reality. And what you need to do is you have to transcend both. And there are even schools of thought that say the left brain right brain shit is nonsense. It's nonsense. Every aspect of the brain is every aspect of the brain. There's no area for creative thinking, and then there's no area for fucking logical thinking. It's the brain is the brain is the brain is the brain is the brain. And 99.9% of our knowledge that we think what we have about the world comes secondhand. We read about it in a book. We didn't open up the cranium and look at the brain and do tests on it ourselves and come to these conclusions ourselves. We watched a documentary where, not whether for good or ill, whether it was actually truthful or not, the information was manipulated through editing, through the way something was shot, through the music that was played, through all that. So what I'm saying is, personal experience is the only way to navigate the spiritual reality. Personal experience, meaning like but it's rigorous personal experience. It's not just making up a butterfly in your mind. If you make up a butterfly in your mind, you know you made up a butterfly in your mind. It's like, okay, this is my butterfly. I call it Gary. That's it. I know that I made this up, but I know that when I make something up, it becomes real for me. But I don't expect everyone else to see the butterfly that I see, because I know I made it up. And then having the discernment to know when to go and do research in the external world, and corroborating and verifying. This is at least my process anyway. Verifying and corroborating information in the external world. And not necessarily because you absolutely have to, but just to cover your bases. You know what I'm saying? You want to be balanced. You want to have you want to have discernment in the external and the internal world. You don't just want to, oh, this happened and I had a meditation and I saw this and that meant that this happened and all that. It's like there are a lot of people who do not have discernment when it comes to their inner world, and they damn sure don't have discernment when it comes to the external world. It's important to have discernment in your personal experience. And the way you develop discernment is you have to have a very, very questioning mind. You have to be very like vigilant and rigorous. It's like, okay, I saw that in my mind. Okay, cool. Okay, did this line up with my gut? Did this line up with my third eye? Did this line up with my heart? Did this line up with everything? History, let me hear it. Okay. Um, it's a word. God is a word. God is a word. It's literally a word that was made up that we have attached a particular concept to. That's it. That's all God is. For real. I'm on TikTok for those of you that are watching this. So, but basically that is the essential. That's the essential deal. So, that's what love is. That's what lovability is. That's what discernment is. It's extremely important that the journey does not end. Just because you got your crystals and your incense and you're chanting and you're meditating does not mean that the journey is over, that the journey is done. Does not mean that it does not mean that to shut off your brain and stop having discernment, because our world is a lot, at least this is, I'm just speaking my own personal experience, but our world is a lot more complex. And while it's simplified by having spiritual discernment and spiritual knowledge, it is, we never stop learning and growing. While our world is simplified by having spiritual knowledge and understanding that we are pure consciousness, infinite consciousness, we still have a world that we're going out into and interacting with, and we have to understand how to dance with it every day. So that is a beautiful process. It's an amazing process. It's a heart-wrenching process. It's everything, and we still have to deal with the complexity of the world. But we deal with it's almost like you're the janitor. Once you really start recognizing your infinite awareness as an ever-present, living, visceral, somatic reality, that is when you have the master key. It's like being a janitor. The janitor has keys to all the rooms in the building, but if you're just faculty, you don't have all the keys to the building. You have more keys. It's funny because the janitor is the one with the lowliest job. The janitor deals with everyone's shit, but the janitor has the keys to all the rooms. Even the CEO doesn't have keys to all the rooms. Yes, the CEO's got to call the janitor up. It's like, hey, could you check out this and go into the closet and check this out and check that out. The janitor. So once you touch pure consciousness, you become the janitor of life. You have the key to every room of life. So hey, Conscious Kirk. Hi, Liliana. If you have personal experiences, again, a question. If you guys have questions, put them in the Q&A. But I will answer this question. So have you had personal experiences to give you that thought, like shrooms and DMT? Like, here's the thing. I'm just gonna. This is what I'm being inspired to say in response to that. People need to stop thinking of the spiritual experiences as one event that changes everything. Spirituality is life. That's all it is. Whether you do psychoactive substances or not, spirituality is life. You were spiritual before you woke up. That's what people need to understand. It's like all things like psychoactive substances do is they just open up but before you wake up, psychoactive substances give you a series of keys. Like, you're not the janitor yet, but you've been given more keys to open more doors of your own mind, of your consciousness. So now you can open up this door. Now you can open up this door. Now you can open up that door. but you will come down. You'll come out of that. You'll come change. You will never lose those keys. But psychoactive substances have a limitation. So the best way to constantly always be psychoactive is to basically meditate, in my opinion. It's to meditate. And I know I haven't been looking in this camera a lot because I'm here on TikTok and I'm trying to give love to my TikTokers. So, bluntly honest, it is our soul's purpose to learn and evolve. Our souls don't learn. First off, let me break that down. Number one, what is a soul? We can't really define what it is. A soul is another, fundamentally, on the most fundamental level of life, a soul is an illusion. There's no such thing as an individual soul because you're talking about another form of separation. The experience may be separation, feeling the essence of your soul and being separate from other soul flames. But remember, everything is one. There is no separation. It's not my soul and your soul. It's the soul. So it's a perspective of the same, what is called in New Age terminology, the oversoul. So, or called Paramatma in Sanskrit. But there's no such thing as a soul. It is an experience of essence that appears to be individualized, but there's no such thing as the individual. It's a lie. It's a falsity. But if that doesn't mean it's bad, it just means that it is not an intrinsic truth. So it is, but we experience it, and I like to say that the individual is one of the greatest masterpieces of existence because it is literally impossible to actually be an individual in this reality. It's literally impossible. It's impossible because what makes up an individual? This body? Well, this body dies. There's a consciousness that flows through it. There's a life force that flows through it. But how do I separate the life force that flows through this body that flows through your body? I can't. There's no, it's the same. I see it as kind of like a blackness, and I know that the infinite consciousness is not blackness. Most of us see it as like infinite blackness, but that can be defined. It's infinite clearness clearness upon clearness. Like if you can imagine a window, right? Like just the clear, not even an outline of a window, just a clear square glass square with not a white background behind it, but a clear background behind it. That's almost impossible to imagine. It's impossible to imagine because clarity only reveals what's beyond the window. But if you have a clear window that has a clear background, it's just clarity. You can't see that. You can't visualize that. It's clearness upon clearness. So that's really what eternity and infinity would be if I were to, orient myself correctly. But I don't even remember what the fuck I was saying. But I've never heard what is that? I don't know what that is. Guys, questions. If you guys could put your questions in the Q&A, please, so they're not lost. Because if they're in the Q&A, I can click on the Q&A and I'll see them and they'll just be there until I answer them. If you put them in the chat, they'll just scroll and scroll and scroll, and then I'll lose you. So essentially, man, I don't even remember what the hell I was talking about. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I'm back. Good. The oversoul. It's just a combination. It's a combination of souls. It's a combination of souls. That's all it is. So, but it's many times referred to as the oversoul, but it's really just oneness, just consciousness. Sadhguru, you guys know who Sadhguru is, right? So Sadhguru says, let's imagine that your individual consciousness is a bubble, and when you when you finally wake up, if you pop that bubble, there's no separation. You just become one with everything. This is the essence of unity, yoga, the heart value, anahata, the crown chakra, which basically is oneness as well, and that's the nature of it. So yeah, that's basically what the oversoul is. So somebody put a question in Q&A. Okay, yeah, all right. And what is the oversoul? Good. So I answered that. Good. So yeah, and the cool thing about Sadhguru is that he really makes everything super practical. See, I never know with this camera. Or maybe I should start saying I do know. Yeah, that's a little bit better, I think. So yeah, so we've talked about lovability. We've talked about everyone who does everything based upon how lovable they are, and so that's why we have compassion for those who do evil or those who do mean things. We can't condemn people who do mean things, because when we have real awareness, we understand that they're hurting. We don't try to, oh, you're just hurting. We don't come at it like a fool. We understand this person has absolute conviction that they are not lovable, so they're going to act in a way that's totally unlovable. We are going to restrain them. We're going to use all our faculties to neutralize them. And I'm not talking about unaliving. I'm talking about stopping them in their tracks. And if they're absolutely, my opinion is absent or if they're beyond a rehabilitation program, then unaliving is the only option. But it should be the last option. And that's my opinion. But I don't think that someone should be unalived just because they've done bad things, no matter how bad they've done it. They need to go through a rehabilitation program. If their conviction is that, and this is very general. I don't run shit, so it's like, don't nail me to the wall for this. But for those that do bad things, once we grow our consciousness, we'll be able to create programs where people can be put back into alignment after, even if they've been evil for decades. And we could shine a ray on them and their chakras align, and then they go through, like, instead of prison, they go to a rehabilitation program, a real rehabilitation program, not this bullshit that New World Order wants to implement. And a real rehabilitation, like meditation, with greater more advanced technologies like light technology, sound technology will be used, orgone technology will be used, to set the etheric. Hello, my friend. Hello. How are you? These technologies are going to be implemented. I'm so happy for the women that I've made friends with here on this app. You guys are amazing, and you guys definitely you come in the clutch. You don't know that you do, but you come in the clutch. And when I'm feeling some type of way sometimes. So so these programs are going to be implemented for those that have not felt lovable and have done despicable things to prove to themselves that they are not lovable. And we want to show them that they are lovable. And once they are rehabilitated, and society will also have a system of forgiveness where we forgive those that have done vile things, but we can't forgive others until we forgive ourselves. And forgiveness simply means to let go. That's all it means. It doesn't. It's like, it's not this. This is why I feel like if I could just say a few things on a major platform, I'd really feel like I could just clarify things for a lot of people, because people think that spirituality, they project all this crap on the spirituality and facts, but people don't know what love is. People think love is an emotion that has a lot of drama and ups and downs, and it's chemical. That is not love. These are experiences of emotions. And love is, again, I'm going to say it again and again. I've said it several times in this live. Love is the recognition and the reality of the unity of all things. That is all it is. And so if you were to acknowledge me as being one with you, you would treat me differently, wouldn't you? If I were to acknowledge you as being one with me, I would treat you differently, wouldn't I? But if I don't recognize that oneness, if I don't become one with myself, it will be damned hard for me to recognize how I'm one with everything out there. So that this is why we do shadow work. This is why we do integration work. And I don't even like calling it shadow work per se, but I understand what is meant by that. It's like we do these things to integrate all aspects of our mind because we shine the light of awareness on all aspects of our mind. Meaning, by shining the light of awareness on all aspects of our mind, meaning we feel to heal. We acknowledge what we feel. We acknowledge the aspects of our mind that are hurt and that don't feel lovable by feeling them completely. This is an act of love. Why? Because we're using our intellect and emotions. We're using our intellect to identify, our emotions to recognize, and completely accept those aspects of our mind that we had initially rejected. We recognize ourselves as being one with it, or it being one with us. We don't identify with it. See, when we identify with it, then we put ourselves under the umbrella of I'm this race, I'm this gender, I'm this personality. No, 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 no. That's identifying with it. We don't identify with those aspects of it. We see it as one with us, meaning it is on the same level, and we take it into us. We say, this is part of me. And then once we are able to fully integrate that aspect of ourselves, then we feel more whole, and then we understand a much more productive and unifying way to use that thing that initially debilitated us, right? So let's say you don't trust people. I have I have trust issues, man. Like so when I'm still learning. So I have to learn how to trust myself, and I realize once I learn how to trust myself, it's easier to trust other people. Because at the core of it is when you don't trust others, you really don't trust yourself. Meaning, I haven't done what the fuck I need to do to get my inner self in order. Right? Absolutely. The Alchemist is a great book. I haven't done what I need to do to get myself in order. It's been years since I read it. I need to do what I need to do to get myself in order. So when I get myself in order and I make myself accountable for my goals, dreams, and my own wholeness, my own psychological completion, or my own psychological resolution, because the whole point of the spiritual process is psychological resolution, emotional resolution, meaning you want to feel absolutely firm in who you are, but most of us are debilitated emotionally. That is the main issue with all of us. It's not even our intellect. It's we emotionally are debilitated. So we have to heal ourselves emotionally. And that's every human on the planet. And we just have different levels of fucked upness, but it is what it is. So what I forgot what the fuck I said. But cuz I'm tired. It's like when you're tired, like ideas go away. Lovability, emotions, psychological resolution. Yeah, I don't fucking remember it all. But yeah, so that's essentially, what I'm trying to talk about there. Okay, cool, 11 minutes. I try to make these, and it's funny, it's like when you're really tired, how time dilates. It's crazy how time dilates when you're tired. And sometimes it feels like you think faster because being one with yourself and trust. Oh yes, correct. Thank you. So that's why we seek psychological integration through the spiritual process. So we meditate because meditation is a way for us to do that on a primordial level, on a primal level, meaning we don't have to use the chit chatter of the mind to link ideas, to link neural nets. We just go into the silence, which is beyond all chatter of the mind. We go into the silence, and the silence automatically, because the silence already is unity of all things. The vibration, everybody says vibration and frequency. Vibration and frequency is an illusion, meaning fundamentally, when it comes to what is really, 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 really real, reality does not vibrate at all. Reality does not vibrate. It never started vibrating. It never stops vibrating. The state of no vibration is ever present. The experience of vibration is part of what we experience to be this phenomenal universe. But vibration, everybody's talking about vibration and frequency, vibration and frequency, vibration and frequency. Saying we are energy. No. We are experiencing ourselves as energy. And I'm defining energy as vibration. Vibration. But reality, infinite pure consciousness, does not vibrate. It does not vibrate. It is the still pond. It is the still ocean. And it's like it's not infinite consciousness is not an ocean, but that's the best way for me to describe it at this point. It does not vibrate. So when that vibration ceases, that is when we experience ourselves. When that vibration and the chit chatter of the mind stops, that is when we experience our true nature. That is when we realize our true nature. The key is to stabilize that experience in waking life. That is the goal of every single sentient being in the universe, if they haven't already achieved it. That's it. That is all that is the destiny of every single sentient being, is to stabilize the awareness of your true nature in your daily experience. That is the destiny. That is the destiny of every sentient being. Period. People say, "Oh, I'm going to make $1 million," or "Oh, I'm going to become a monk," or "Oh, I'm going to do this in the next life," or "I'm going to do this I need to do this in the past life." It's like all that is bullshit when it comes down to the fundament of life. I'm not saying that it's bullshit. I'm saying when it comes down to what is reality, people are caught up in this. I'm caught up in this and that, man. Come on. I'm a human being too. But the thing that I understand and that a lot of people understand is that it is rooting that awareness that you are pure consciousness, not just as a concept, not just talking and seeming like you're the shit, really experiencing it in your own personal life with no one around, that you are pure awareness, that you can be mindful because you already recognize yourself to be pure awareness, and knowing that, and that being ever present in your reality. This is documented in yogic scripture. Documented. This is what's called enlightenment. This is enlightenment. And everybody talks about enlightenment. Enlightenment is this, enlightenment is when you recognize yourself to be pure consciousness, and that pure consciousness never goes away, it never fades away. Your awareness of your true nature never leaves you. As a matter of fact, it's so powerful that you when you go to sleep, you just watch the body fall and go to sleep. And you're literally just watching the body. Not as an astral being. No, you're just pure consciousness. You don't identify with the body. You see the body, you watch the body go to sleep, and you have a dreamless sleep. You watch dreams come up, you watch dreams go away. But you're watching the body sleep. You're watching the dreams pop up, you're watching the dreams go away, you're watching the dreams pop up, you're watching the dreams go away. But you're still infinite consciousness, just watching it. Then the body wakes up, and you're like, oh, the body woke up. Like, that's how powerful, that's enlightenment. When that experience is unbroken. And with the way that I'm describing it, at least to my perspective, it's a very organic process. There's no angels, there's no white light, there's no golden light, there's no zenith, it's just that. Understanding you are pure consciousness, and that experience is unbroken. That is not to discredit angels. That is not to discredit white light or golden light. I love that shit. But that is not the ultimate. That is not the ultimate. The ultimate is you are pure consciousness. Root that in your daily life and make it unbroken. That is your only goal. No matter what you do, you could become a CEO, you could become a janitor, you could become whatever the fuck you want to become in life on this planet. But the thing is, the sole goal of every being, whether they know it or not, is to do just that, is to recognize they are pure consciousness and ground that in their daily experience as an unbroken experience. That is the goal of every single being, without fail. I am not wrong. I'm 1,000% right. I don't care what your goal is. So, and I got two cancers up here with me. You guys, you two are cancers, by the way, just to introduce you guys to each other. So, that is, I think that's beautiful. So, I think that's a beautiful thing. Interesting. Ooh. Ooh. But I think that's an absolutely beautiful thing. And it just simplifies things. You know what I'm saying? When you realize, like, that's what everybody's going after, whether they know it or not. And having compassion for those who do evil, because there is, or people that are ignorant, because there is ignorance in your psychological framework. And but your psychological framework is not who you are, meaning your mind, meaning your emotions, meaning your reactions, meaning your likes and dislikes. That's not who you are at all. Embrace those things, but that is not who you are. You're pure consciousness. You drop this body, you'll drop all those, like, what most people identify as themselves is actually held in their body or in certain levels of their aura. Like, your emotional patterns are held in your body and held in your aura. They're not held in higher levels of yourself. They're only conduits to have particular kinds of experiences. That's really all it is. So it's just amazing how simple it can be when you see that. When you see that and understand that and probe life, it just doesn't. It's not as complex. You're just wondering. You wonder, or you see people who are literally ready to, like, unalive one another because they are ignorant of this knowledge. They're not really ready or able to imbibe this knowledge. I don't know what that is, but I'll look in the Q&A. That is in the Q&A. Yeah, I'll check the Q&A in a little bit. But it's just interesting. So it's like people were saying, you guys saw the post where I said, "Hey humans, you are gods," and there were so many people that said, "Man, they're not hearing you. They probably think you're crazy." I'm like, motherfucker, and I know they didn't mean it. They didn't mean it with a nasty spirit. But I just felt so spirited about this. And I was like, motherfucker, I don't give a shit if their conscious mind thinks I'm crazy. Their conscious mind doesn't know shit. Their spirit knows it. Because we have the same spirit. When I did that, they were a point of attraction for me to do that in their experience. Meaning they attracted it for a reason. They attracted me into their experience to do that very thing. You know why I did that? Because I felt inspired to do it. Like, I got the idea. Do that. Do that thing that Revo does. Do that thing that Revo does. Do that in the public. And I was like, I was a little afraid of it, but I'm like, you know what? I need to do something that I'm not completely comfortable with. And I just did it. It's like, when I'm ready to go, I'll do it, and then I'll just leave. And also, the thing is, most people don't recognize how zombified most human beings are. You'll do something crazy, and they won't give a fuck. You could just say something, yell it really loud, and then leave, and then they'll just go back to being zombies. Like, they don't give a fuck. But they got it. I'm telling you, they got it. Because I'm a sign that their spirit is craving something that reflects the inner truth in the external world. Me doing that in their experience is what they called for. They asked for it. They begged for it. They pleaded for it. Their conscious mind didn't ask for that. Their conscious mind doesn't know anything, man. Their conscious mind thinks, oh, additives and the MSM is correct and everything that the news is telling me is absolutely true. It's like, and even that is like, don't listen to the news. Like, don't listen to the news. That's like ABC 1, 2, 3 to a god, man. A god all creates their own reality. A God creates their own reality. You know what I'm saying? And most people like God is just a word meaning a supreme being with supreme spiritual abilities. That's all God means. But when you dive into yourself, into your own consciousness, and recognize when you dive into your own consciousness, you're going to realize things are going to start coming out of you that are called that in Sanskrit are called siddhis, siddhis. In vernacular, in today's vernacular, they would be called superpowers. Why? Because when you go deeper and deeper into yourself, think of it like computer code, right? At first, when you play a computer game or when you're on your computer, you don't know how the fuck the code works. But if you study the code, right, then you're like a god in the computer world. You become Neo. You know how the zeros and ones should go. That's what meditation is. You go deeper into yourself and you start recognizing more synchronicity. You start recognizing the correlation between what you think of in the morning and it manifesting in the external world in the evening. You start recognizing, oh, if I actually command my thought and say what I want to experience, then it actually comes true. Holy shit. And that's why it's like most people say, we're not gods, bro. And they just say that because somebody else told them what to think. When a god thinks what they choose to think because they recognize that they're not thought. A god recognizes that they are not thought. They are not thought. A god recognizes themselves to be pure awareness, pure consciousness that can only have a phenomenal experience because of thought. In the Kabbalion, which is I guess you could say it's an Egyptian text. The first fucking principle is that the universe is mental, meaning the entire universe is made of thought. The entire universe, meaning the universe that you can perceive, is made of thought. Everything is thought, meaning your body is thought. Your body is thought. Your emotions are thought at their fundamental level. So everyone that you see is thought. Everything that you use is thought. It is thought. It's not thought made physical. It is thought, period. The physical is a label that we put on everything. It is still thought. It's thought that vibrates at a very slow speed, but it's still thought. Right? It's still thought. The entire universe is thought. So, man, man, y'all don't even want to know how deep I go. But a God recognizes that they are not thought. Meaning a God looks at the entire universe and says, man, you're fun, but you're not me. You're not me. I don't identify with you. A God looks at the entire universe and says, I don't identify with you. I embrace you, but I don't identify with you. I don't put my being underneath that because my being came before you, because infinite consciousness is timeless. But before is the only way that a temporal mind, the way that we've been trained to think. They can't all be right, but they can all be wrong. I don't know what that means. Okay, let me look at the question here. How do you feel about QHTT? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is. Could you explain that to me? What that is? I'm assuming that you're trying not to be controversial when you use the associated with organized religion, which causes them to buck that concept completely. Quantum healing hypnosis therapy. Yep, hypnosis. Like first off, with hypnosis, first off, the word is named after some guy. But hypnosis is the best way for us to be able to categorize being in a state of awareness. Hypnosis, we're all under hypnosis, and we will never not be under hypnosis. Hypnosis is being in a particular pattern of thought. That's all hypnosis is. That's all hypnosis is. Being a god means hypnosis. Think of hypnosis like a program. You can't experience this universe without experiencing a particular series of programs or algorithms. Meaning your body, once your pure consciousness is plugged into it, which the body is pure consciousness as well, but once your life, it's hard to describe because there are layers of division and layers of unity that need to be talked about here. But when your pure consciousness fills up the body, that consciousness tells the body, it's like, this is the algorithm that you're going to operate by. This is why your heart pumps nonstop. It doesn't stop when you stop thinking about the heart. It doesn't stop. It beats no matter what. It beats when you go to sleep. It beats when you wake up. Right? So, well, thoughts are leaving me. I'm tired. Hypnosis. So everything operates by a particular algorithm. The Earth, the entire planet that we're on, if it is floating through space, operates by a series of programs. Period. It is in a state of hypnosis of sorts. Hypnosis basically is being subject to a particular pattern of thought. But a god understands that they are not thought. They can hypnotize. What do you think affirmations are? It's self-hypnosis. It's self-hypnosis. You can't live in this universe without being hypnotized by something. You can't. Everything is directing you toward a particular pattern of thought. Oh, I crave this. I usually crave this kind of food. That's a pattern of hypnosis. Oh, I like to go fishing every Saturday. That's a pattern of hypnosis, a pattern of thought. Oh, I like this color. That's a pattern of thought. So hypnosis is just a pattern of thought. You're always being hypnotized. So I feel like I need to like really nail this down. I know you get it, Candace, but I feel like I need to nail this down because that's why you do affirmations, because it's one of your best ways to combat what the world is trying to hypnotize you with. Because the world is trying to hypnotize you with a fucking hodgepodge of different hypnotic commands. You know what I'm saying? A lot different hypnotic commands. That's why we do affirmations. So all you can do is reprogram. All you can do is reprogram. That's all you can do. Because the reprogramming, the waking up that everybody's talking about right now, you're going to have to wake up again, which is another series of reprogramming experiences, and another series of reprogramming experiences, and another. So that's what, and I'm going over. I usually only go an hour, but I'm going over. So yeah, that's essentially like, and then we're talking about quantum, and the word quantum means distinct. So quantum means distinct because we're talking about when you look at something, it becomes distinct. Quantum mechanics is when you look at something, the mechanics of you looking at it makes it distinct, makes it a distinct thing in this reality. So healing therapy, people have this kind of woo-woo kind of emotional connotation of quantum, when quantum actually means very distinct, specific. So yes. So what do I think of it? I don't even know what tools actually go into it, but it's like, of course it works. It would work, sure. So yeah, thank you for that question. That is a great way to. I try to stay constantly vigilant. Now, I'm gonna blow up your spot a little bit, Trey, and I hope you don't mind. But being vigilant. Now, this goes for me as well. I have PTSD as well, so my vigilance, in many ways, let me find this button real quick. My vigilance in many ways can be triggered by PTSD. But what I mean by vigilance is recognizing, when you recognize that your pure consciousness, and that everything, not as a threat, but that everything is seeking to program you with a series of commands, you are very, very, picky about which thoughts you choose to entertain, and especially considering the programming that you received growing up, because you realize a lot of those programs aren't useful for you right now. They cause you to be sad for, they cause you to blow uptuate, and meaning like exaggerate particular situations. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about impersonally. But they cause you to blow up situations that don't need to be blown up. They cause you to jump to conclusions that don't need to be jumped to. They cause you to you see, well, you talk about mental health, right? You said mental. I just said the entire universe is mind. So, and I told you a God does not identify with the mind, does not identify with the mental. So mental health means that you have some corrupted programming, some corrupted programs. And the thing about it is you're pure consciousness as much as I am. So you are not intrinsically those mental health issues. You are experiencing the individual that you're playing as having those mental health issues. But those can be corrected easily. I actually have quite an issue with those that say I have, like, I was watching this fucking post from somebody who was saying I have PTSD, I'm autistic, like, and they were wearing them like fucking badges of honor, and I'm like I understand the point of it is, our society is shifting into one where that's more aware of the validity or the human value of people who have mental health issues or disabilities. I understand that. But we're still repeating the mistake of identifying completely with those labels. No. We do need to become more embracing of those that are not neurotypical, which I think everybody is neurodivergent if you really got down to it. There are very few people that are actually neurotypical, in my opinion. But I don't know all 8 billion of us, so I might be wrong. Essentially, you are not your issues. I don't want to be labeled for my mental health, Yeah, but only those that will label you for that are those that are ignorant to the things that I'm showing you right now. Like, they're ignorant to it, and 99.9% of people are ignorant to it. This is why we have so much suffering on the planet. If everyone knew what I'm talking to you about right now, we wouldn't have our problems would not have the same quality. I'll put it like that. I'm working on it. Everybody's working on it. And to be fairly honest, there a lot. I think Lenin said that this world is an insane asylum. Krishnamurti said it is no measure of a sane man to try to fit into a profoundly sick society. Absolutely. And George Carlin said, when you're born on Earth, you get a ticket to the freak show. When you're born in America, you get a front row seat. And because motherfuckers is crazy. The more that you like, we're all crazy out here, but it's the crazy ones that are aware that they're crazy. Meaning, like, when I'm using the word crazy, I'm using it with a negative connotation, and it could be used with a positive or negative connotation. I'm talking about the destructive insanity that most people enact because of the programming of the demonic system that we've been under for who knows how long. I don't even know if it's been thousands of years, probably hundreds. But as a product of that programming, there are a lot of people who are ignorant, and therefore they become insane. And you're seeing that insanity finally blow up because now the stakes are high, meaning the spiritual stakes are high, meaning, have you done your spiritual work? Have you done your spiritual work? When you see somebody fucking lose it because somebody's saying their truth, They just lose it. They just ah! And they're fucking trying to break into somebody's car, break somebody's car window with a bike. You know that motherfucker ain't done his work. And he has no awareness that that's the priority. He thinks that the world is what it is. What the government told him is true. What the news told him is true. Just comply with what they're telling you. It's absolutely real. It's 100% real. I don't care what anybody says. And but that person's not doing the work. I'm not saying because he exploded he's not doing the work, but I'm saying yes, it is because he exploded like that he's not doing the work, but at the same time, I'm not condemning that behavior intrinsically. That's why Jesus said, "Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do." What are the key words there? Know not. What does know not mean? Ignorance. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. But why do you want us to comply with what you're telling us? I don't want you to comply with what I'm telling you. I want you to figure it out for yourself. I want you to... that's an assumption. So, I mean, I'm going to be honest. Personally, I want you to believe what I'm telling you. I'm not going to bullshit on that. But I can't possibly make you believe what I'm telling you. Like, it's literally impossible for me to make you believe what I'm telling you. It's impossible. The only thing I can do is inspire you, whether negatively or positively, meaning using nefarious purposes, using a nefarious intention, or using a good intention, to inspire you to get on the bandwagon with what I'm saying. But if you had been here the whole time, just like 15 minutes ago, I said it's about personal experience. And it's about not letting the world program you with a bunch of hypnotic cues and commands. It's about navigating life as a pure consciousness being, experiencing themselves to be an individual, and being very picky about what thoughts and emotions that you decide to entertain. This is what gods do. This is what gods do. People say, you're not gods. God is a word, man. God is a word. I use that word because most people understand the emotional connotation with that word. But it's just a fucking word. There was a time in human history where that word did not exist, and we knew exactly what God was. We knew exactly that we were gods without having that word exist. But somebody made up that word and added a bunch of fucking connotations to that word, added so many hang-ups to that word. So now people are fucking unaliving each other over this word. If you don't believe the connotations that I believe associated with this word, I'm going to unalive you. And that's complete bull. Like, that's why it's like you have to be the janitor of your life. You have to have all the keys to all the doors. You have to clean up the shit in your own mind and heart. Because once you do that, you simplify the world. The world becomes very simple. It doesn't cease to become complex, but with a simple mindset, with a simple awareness of what this world actually is, you can navigate it simply. You can navigate the complexity in a simple manner. I'll put it like that. And 99.9% of the complexity is not even worth most of humanity's time. I'm telling you, it's not even worth like what 99.9% of what the news is telling you is not even worth your time. And Charita, I'm gonna jump on. I'm gonna get on your case a little bit. I don't like the most people are sheep thing, even though I agree with you. I don't like that stance that people take, because you're just as much a sheep as they are. You're just awakened to another level of knowledge than most people. But there are still, like, when you start really waking up, you start questioning, what is it that I don't know that if I knew it now would completely change my life for the better? You're still a sheep. You may not be a sheep to the government. Only trust yourself and your own knowledge. Yup. You might not be a sheep to the government, but you're still a sheep to your own biases. You may be like, fuck them, I'm not going to let them control my mind. Fuck that. But just because you're not letting them control your mind doesn't mean that you're completely free. You're just free of them. You have to be free of your own mind. And I'm talking as somebody who's still in the process myself. I ask myself very often, what don't I know that I don't know, that if I knew it now, it would completely knock out 100% of my problems? It would knock out 100%. Like, what you don't know that you don't know, right? If you knew it now, all your problems would be solved. Think about that. Think about that. What don't, meaning in your conscious awareness, in your human awareness, meaning spiritually, everything, you know everything. Spiritually, you know everything. But we're playing this game of being limited. So we have to do certain things with certain permission slips to gain access to particular states of awareness or particular answers that we need. It's just a game. It's pure consciousness playing a game. But spiritually, you know everything. But phenomenally, or in the relative, and not in the absolute, meaning the absolute is pure consciousness, and the relative is the universe, the phenomenal universe. We live in a Dajjal system. I don't know what that is. But we're still sheep until we dissolve and become pure consciousness again, and remember ourselves to be pure consciousness again. That's my personal. But yeah. So you're still a sheep. You're not woke. You're still on this planet with 8 billion ignorant motherfuckers. Like, you're still on this planet, and you're still ignorant. So it's like we need to understand. And ignorant just means you don't know. It doesn't mean stupid. I think stupid is someone who the only real stupidity, even though we can call somebody stupid outside of this definition, but I feel like truly the only stupidity it can occur when you are aware that you are ignorant and you refuse to become knowledgeable. I think that's the only true stupidity. It's the only true stupidity, because someone who doesn't know, they just don't know. It could be something that most people know, or most people have been programmed to accept as a universal reality. So in society, but that person doesn't know it, and so they do something that is not common sense, and they're called stupid. Man, that person's stupid. I might even call them stupid, and I got to work on that. But they're not stupid unless they recognize their ignorance, and they refuse to become knowledgeable about it, and knowledgeable in a way, meaning knowledge that is useful to them. I think that it's also only knowledge if you use it, and you can use it in a way that's useful to you. It's only information until that point. Like, same thing with intelligence. Intelligence is the skillful application of knowledge. So someone that goes to school and gets an education, and they're not even using the word education correctly, but because that has a Latin root, which means to lead out of. So to lead out of what? To lead out of ignorance. That's what education should do. But someone who's educated in today's connotation is just someone with a piece of paper that says they have credibility. And I'm not saying that the piece of paper is not credible. I'm just simply saying that that's kind of the only thing that we define as credible in the large scope. And but just because someone is educated does not mean that they are intelligent. Does not mean that they know how to skillfully apply information. So and what is skillfully applying information? Skillfully applying information means applying the information where it creates more useful information. So when I skillfully plant a seed in the right soil and give it the right treatment, it's actually, a seed contains the same amount of information the whole time. The seed contains the tree in it. But you either create more information or more knowledge, or a more refined level of intelligence, or a more refined use of knowledge, if that makes any sense. I know I'm using a lot of kind of like convoluted terminology, But I hope you guys are with me. But that's pretty much where I'm at with that. So in essence, lovability is recognizing, is being unified within yourself, is loving, is unifying. This is why I say self-love, unifying within you. I'm bringing it back home. So unifying within yourself means loving yourself. Good affirmation. Becoming unified within yourself. When you become unified within yourself, you recognize your unity with others. And that's how it should be. You should recognize your unity with others. And when you whatever you do to yourself, you can do to others a lot more easily. So compassion, you have compassion for yourself, you can have compassion for others. If you do bad things to yourself, you can do bad things to others. And recognize when you're being overly critical of others. You must do that to yourself on some level. Thank you, Candace. You're blowing me up. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, you're such a sweetie petite. Yeah. So, man, it's crazy how like I have to go into a channeling mode. It can be challenging sometimes. Like I have to direct my mind there. And this is what I like talking about. I like talking about this. I could talk about this forever. To be honest, because it's just like it just for me, the reason why I have a passion for spiritual information or spiritual knowledge is because it literally simplifies the world for me. I like to simplify the world. And by simplify, I don't mean take out complexity. I mean having a tool to navigate complexity. You know what I'm saying? And while still allowing life to still be beautifully complex, because you still want mystery, you still want adventure, you still want those things as a human being, even if you are seeking enlightenment. And for those of you that have been here, for the live about maybe half an hour ago, I was talking about enlightenment and what it actually is. So it's just that's why I'm so passionate about spiritual knowledge, because if I can intimate to you what I know and make it really like boom, 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 you'll be like, whoa, like that's really simple. And it's like, yeah, like the Indian gurus don't explain it this simply. They just don't. Like they don't explain it like this. It's just like of all these white people gather around these Indian people and it's like they sound good saying what they say, but they never just bring it home. They never just bring it home. And I'm not saying that they're bad for that. I'm just saying I've just noticed that about a lot of spiritual teachers. They never just bring it home. It's like, boom, there you go. Take it. Now you're empowered. Go. now you go and seek and find it yourself. Seeking enlightenment is my life journey, but I gathered so much in 40 years. If like earlier, enlightenment is not something that you have to seek at all. Enlightenment is what you are. Enlightenment. You are enlightenment. See, enlightenment this is in yogic scripture, by the way. Enlightenment is the process of like when you meditate, you reach a state of pure consciousness, which you are pure consciousness. That is your nature. That is the reality of who you are. You are pure consciousness. Unified with all things, no perception. You are just simply being. But we're playing this game of being humans. So you have to do certain things in order to reach that state. So you meditate and you meditate real hard, and then you reach these states of pure consciousness. Enlightenment is the state of pure consciousness being unbroken, no matter what you are doing. So it's not white light, it's not angels, it's not aliens, it's not anything. It's just you. It's just pure eternity, pure consciousness that you are. That experience of being pure awareness is unbroken throughout your entire experience. Meaning when you go to sleep, all you're doing, and I said this before, I know you guys heard this, some of you heard this. When you go to sleep, you watch the body go to sleep. You watch dreams come up and dissolve. You watch dreams come up and dissolve. In the sleeping state, you're watching it all unfold as pure consciousness. And then when you wake up, you watch the body wake up. You watch the body get up and brush its teeth. You watch the body doing, like, you're not identified with the body at all, but you are engaged with the bodily experience. That is enlightenment. That pure consciousness being unbroken, meaning like you don't reach that state and then forget it and then you're just a human again. No, it's completely unbroken. This is the sole goal of all sentient life. Actually, I would even go so far as to say it's the sole goal of all life, because everything is alive in the universe. Everything. It's the goal of all life, if they're not there already. So that 8 billion people, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, this is the goal of every single human being on this planet, whether they know it or not. But doesn't that just take away from the human experience? You think you're clever, Candace. No, it doesn't. Because when you're being real, that can do nothing but complete you. It can do nothing but be fulfilling. It gives the human experience the right perspective. Meaning, if you identify, nope, Charita, nope, you're wrong. You're wrong. Nope. Every human being is pure consciousness. So we're already that. It's just how much dilated time experience do they need to go through before they accept that? That's it. That's it. Because time does not exist as a fundamental intrinsic reality. Time is a way to experience phenomenal reality. Phenomenal meaning ever-changing. Ever-changing. That which you are does not change at all. Pure consciousness does not change. Pure consciousness is pure consciousness. It doesn't go up. It doesn't go down. It's not a color. It's nothing. So most won't reach it? No, that's incorrect. Everyone will reach it, and everyone is already there. It's just how long will it take? It's like meaning how long is it going to take for you to accept that your heart is beating? Like that's how fundamental the reality is. To say that you're saying like I want to let me make it something as ridiculous as this, right? I know what I know. Yep, you know what you know. So let's make it as ridiculous as this. Let's say that most human beings didn't know that they had a heart beating inside of them. And let's say enlightenment was the goal of recognizing that everyone has a heart beating inside of them. It's just beating there. Like you and I both know outside of that ridiculous example that we have a heart and it's beating inside of us forever. Like as long as this body is up and alive, this heart will beat. But the ridiculousness of it is most people are not aware that they have a heart in them, in their body, and it beats no matter what. So once I reach 720 degrees, I'm good. We have multiple hearts. Yes, but don't digress. Let's stay focused. So let's focus on this heart, the physical heart. Everyone has a heart beating inside of them. So, but in this ridiculous example, not everybody is aware of that. So everybody's like, I want to reach the level where I want to reach enlightenment. I want to reach the level where I know I have a heart. I want to reach that level. And then someone says, you already have the heart inside of you. You just need to look at it and recognize it. And you say, yeah, but everybody's not gonna recognize they have a heart inside of them. It's like it's an ever-present reality. It's just a matter of time. Now the time scale is longer than a human lifespan as we understand it to be today, but it's just a matter of time. If you are pure consciousness, it is your destiny to awaken to it. No matter who you are, no matter how many lifetimes, no matter how many bodies you have to go through, it is your destiny. You are fated to awaken. You are fated. So when you say most won't reach it, how the fuck do you know? How the fuck do you know that? You're a human who's only going to live about 70, 80 years. How do you know that? You feel me? How do you know that? You're just going to live 70, 80 years. You're going to forget about this life. You're going to wake up in another body and then think that you know everything in that body. You're going to forget all about it. Because I do. Okay. Yeah, I'm sold. You're gonna lose this body. You're gonna lose this personality, and everything that you thought you knew is gonna go in the fucking crapper, man. Everything's gonna go in the fucking crapper. I remember my past lives. So, you're me. I'm your past life, motherfucker. I'm your past life. You remember me? Huh? I'm your past life. No. You are not your physical body. Your physical body's going to die and you're going to jump in another body with another set of DNA. You're going to jump in another body with another set of DNA. Don't identify with the physical body. I'm your past life. And I bet you I'm saying that because I actually fucking am. And if I'm going to incarnate into you, man, oh God. It's all love. It's all love. But the thing is, we are all each other. And the fact that you say most won't reach it, it's just, that's so arrogant. That's so arrogant. You don't know that. You're one fucking human that only lives 70 to 80 years on a planet that is estimated to be 4.5 billion years old in a universe that's estimated to be 13.5 billion years old. And you're one human, infinite consciousness funneled into one tiny human that's only going to live to be about 70 to 80 years old. And you think that you know this? That is supreme arrogance. Supreme arrogance. You have forever to figure it out. You have as long as Black Dwarf star lifespan to figure this shit out. Don't tell me that most people aren't going to figure this out. Don't tell me that. And yes, I understand you're on your own journey. Do your thing. You know what you know. But you're going to find how profoundly arrogant that is. It's super arrogant, bro. When you have real knowledge, you recognize that you don't know anything. No matter how many past lives that you come into contact with, it doesn't fucking matter. You're pure consciousness. Once you fucking solidify that, your past lives mean nothing. Your current life doesn't have the same context as you thought it did. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and it's like, I'm getting on you, but it's just like, it is what it is, man. It's like, I don't have any hate towards you, but it's like, I'm getting on you because it's like, it's just, that's not cool. I don't think it's cool to say most won't reach it. It's like, how do you know? Okay, tell me how many human beings won't have reached it 1 billion years from now. You can't. I know that. I'm everything. So I mean, if you're everything, then it's like, you should know that it's the destiny for every being to reach it. First of all, it's not to be reached. It's your essence. That's like trying to get water. It's like trying to convince water that it's water. That's how simple enlightenment is. So to say that most won't reach it is like insanity. It's insanity. You are pure consciousness. Everyone is pure consciousness. Everyone is destined to reach this, if to use your terminology, because it's what we are. Why you so? Because I want to be. Because I am hype. Why you so hype? Let's get hype. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. Let's go. Come on, man. You not like, bro. You limited right now. You limited. No, I'm not gonna play tennis. I'm gonna win. You know how I'm gonna win? I may not even win this discussion. I'm gonna win because one day you're going to come to this realization. You're gonna wake up and realize that shit. You're gonna wake up and realize it's like, holy fuck, that motherfucker was right. And that's when I'm gonna win. And you know what? I'm not even gonna care. I'm gonna be like, come on in, sister. You're fucking right, it's cocky. You're fucking right. Cocky, but not arrogant. I don't think I know more than you. I'm just pointing out you can walk away being in whatever state of awareness you want to be in. But for me, it's just like what you said ain't even. It's just not even right, bro. We're pure consciousness living in a universe that is essentially, as far as we know as human beings, the universe is infinite. So we have infinity to get it right. We have infinity to wake up from the dream. Every being, everything in the universe is destined to wake up. And if you really want to get, technical, everything that you're perceiving in the universe is just a reflection anyway. So for you to say most won't reach it, you're fucking yourself over. You're fucking yourself over. So it's like most won't reach it. It's like they're you, dude. Wouldn't you? If let's put it like this: if your reality was true, where most won't reach it, which is impossible, impossible, then wouldn't you want to wish them? Wouldn't you want to say everybody's gonna reach it? Wouldn't you want to say that to your reflection? Because you saying that to them increases your chances of reaching it. Right? So anyway, it is what it is. You know what you know. Walk away with what you know. But I know you're thinking on what I said. I know you're thinking on it. I know you're churning on it. And I don't want you to be my future life, though. I'm done. I do not want you to be my future life. I love you, but no. I do not want to go backwards in my awareness at all. And yes, I'm being mean, guys. Sorry. So someone when someone says something out of pocket like that, in my opinion, it was out of pocket. I still love you though, but I just that is not correct, bro. Everybody's destined to reach this shit. Listen, I'm not from this planet, nigga. Nobody is. No, you're from this planet and you're not from this planet. What the fuck are you talking about? You're pure consciousness. You're literally everything. You're from this planet and not from this planet. Your feathers are ruffled too. I know what you're doing. I know you're ruffling feathers, but you're not completely in control. That wasn't completely your plan. You were really emotionally behind what you were saying. That's another reason why I'm like, yo, bro, you out of pocket because you trying to like provoke me. I'm like, no. See, now you think you're fucking clever and cute. I know you think that you're being clever and cute, but you're just as emotionally involved in this conversation as I am. You want to assume the shape of, ooh, I'm the manipulator because I'm just saying things to provoke him. You're not fooling me. I knew what you were doing from the jump, boy. I knew what you were doing from the jump. Bro, I saw you before you saw you, man. Come on now. And I know what direction this live is going into. I am not unaware of that. There's a little discord happening, but it's not gonna get out of hand. Not at all. See, you're bullshitting. You bullshitting. So I can feel when people are like assuming the role of like when they're caught out and then they want to look like no, I'm the clever one. I'm gonna be the manipulative, provocative one. I'm gonna say this, and now I can assume later on when we say this that I was the provocateur. You know how much of that I've dealt with in my life. How that energy pattern has a very distinct smell. I can smell it. And I'm saying this with all the I still love the fuck out of you, but I'm sharing my love through like through this intense energy. I'm like I can love somebody, the fuck out of somebody, and be like, yo, fuck you. No, I'm not provoking you. I'm sparking that's the same thing. It's called provoking. Provoking is ruffling feathers. That's called provocation. To know me is to love me. Okay, whatever. So it's like I'm sparking conversation. It's literally they're synonyms. Provoking, sparking convo, ruffling feathers. That these literally have the same meaning. So it's like I knew what you would do. I know the energy that people are coming at me with. And it's like I don't give a fuck if you believe what I'm saying when you leave this live or not. I really don't care. But while I'm here and I'm choosing to do this, is you're out of pocket. You out of pocket. But believe what you believe. Do what you do. It is what it is. And if your viewpoint of me has changed because of how I'm coming at this person, great, wonderful, it's beautiful. So, but we're done with that now. But it is what it is. So I still love you. It is what it is. It's like the human race is literally family. There's only like 2%. They say there's 2. I don't even know if I could trust that, but there's very little genetic difference amongst the races. We're literally all distant cousins. So for us to get on each other's nerves is to be expected. So it is what it is. But I'm ignoring you now. And yeah, you don't really have anything more. You don't have anything more to contribute in the way of productivity. It amazes me how well you read people, and I love you even more for it. I appreciate it. I've been able to read people very well my entire life. So, it's just the more spiritually attuned I become, the more I see it coming, like before that person even knows it's coming. I call out what the person's gonna do before they even know that they want to do it. That's how crazy it is, bro. You are graceful, G. I love you. Hey, I appreciate it. But the thing is, it is what it is. See what I'm saying? No more contribution of anything positive. So, let me keep this shit going. All right, I'm gonna change the battery pack. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna stop recording on my camera here, but I'm gonna keep going with you guys here.